Welcome back, everyone. My name is Anthony. I'm an artist based in Wilmington, Delaware. I go to an art school in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, known as Studio Incaminati. And welcome back to another Anatomy Live. Now, 2 weeks ago, we went over the outside view of the leg. So this week, we're going to go over the inside view. Now, I didn't go over the inside view last week because I was giving an example of how you can implement your knowledge of anatomy into your illustrations. This is the tibia. And the fibula is going to be right over here. So this is the top of your tibia. Just to give ourselves a bit of a refresher, this is your pelvis in here. This is your femur. This is your tibia, and next to it is your fibula. That's your patella right in there. This bone in the back here is known as your sacrum, and the very tip of that is known as your coccyx. This point here is known as your pubis symphysis. It's the very center. This crest in here, that's known as your iliac crest. This furthest most point here at the end of the crest is known as your aces. You have another one at the back known as your pieces. And those are your anterior superior iliac spine and your posterior superior iliac spine. So anterior means front facing, posterior means back facing. Same thing here. This point right in here, this is where the crest ends. That is your aces. Right below it, that's where you get your isis, which is the anterior inferior iliac spine. All right. And this here is known as your great trochanter. That's the bone that sticks out in the back. That's the head of the femur, the neck, the shaft. All right. So, let's go ahead and get started. Just to point out a couple more things. This part of the tibia up in here is called the medial condyle. The front of the tibia right in here is known as the tibial tuberosity. It's like the furthest most point of the tibia, and it kind of like goes down, and that's your shin. On the other side of the tibia, it's known as your lateral condyle. And this part here of the fibula, that's known as the head of the fibula, or fibula. Of course, this bone is known as your tibia. All right. Now, in this position, it's going to be, just keep in mind that the muscles are going to be a little bit morphed because this isn't just a leg standing. It's a leg coming out from the pelvis. If you remember from our last leg anatomy live, the sartorius will connect at the aces point here. Actually, you know what? Let's start off with the adductor muscles. So the adductor muscles will attach themselves along this part of the pelvis, and they're grouped together. There's a bunch of like smaller muscles in there, but they're grouped together, and they're just known as the adductor group. So they'll attach themselves along here. You have all these muscles that will come down, and some of them attach down here to the medial condyle. And the rest of them will attach themselves along this point of the bone, of the femur in here. Now, I'm just going to leave this as one big mass. And your quadriceps, and remember your quadriceps are a group of 4 muscles on top of your femur. So your quadriceps are going to attach just a little bit lower than the ACEs, and they're going to come over. They're going to hitch down just a little bit, and they're going to come all the way over and attach to the patella. So the attachment to the patella, there's a bit of like a tendinous mass in here, and the top of your quadriceps, otherwise known as your rectus femoris, that's going to end about here, and your vastus medialis, which is the inside of your quadricep, will end here, closer to the patella, and this is the lowest, most lowest point of the quadriceps. So these quadriceps will go in, will kind of flow, and then come up. That's the attachment. And the vastus medialis will follow that same pattern. And over these muscles here, let's go ahead and make some room. All right. Over the quadriceps and over the adductor muscles is going to be your sartorius. Your sartorius will attach itself to the ACEs right here and come around and loop all the way to the medial condyle in here. And it will come up, attach itself, and it's this nice little ribbon that helps keep all these muscles together and attaches your pelvis to the tibia. So it kind of like groups these three sections of your lower half together. Let's go in and adjust that just a little bit. And that's your sartorius muscle. This is your rectus femoris that attaches to the patella. These are your adductor muscles. And you're going to get just like a little sneak peek of your hamstrings right underneath those adductor muscles. So I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna put that there because that's your adductor. And your hamstrings kind of like just peek their little heads here, attach themselves in there. And that's like the lower half of your or the lower portion of your leg. And that's pretty much it, if I'm going to be honest. It's very, very simple. And once you get a good idea of how the muscles work, you don't even need to go in depth with everything underneath, or you don't have to know every single detail, but you get this general idea of how the muscles flow, how they interact with one another. Like I said, all of these muscles in here, this is just your adductor muscles. Yeah. You have one here. You have one that comes down this way, and another one here. This is your sartorius. And that sartorius is an interesting muscle. It shows this nice little flow. And in the context of the figure, you'll spot it. The better you get at this, you'll spot this really nice flow that will follow through the sartorius all the way down to the foot. It's quite beautiful. I love doing this. I love anatomy. We'll go ahead, line in these muscles. Yeah. Here's that top. Oh, that's breaking. If you ever work with color pencils, they're so tricky. These are supposed to be high quality too. All right, let's do that. Okay. So the muscles, or learning about anatomy is not just about learning about the muscles. Learning anatomy will help enhance your illustrations, um, or your figure work if that's what you're into. I'm currently in a realism art school. And understanding anatomy is a very, very important part of it. It's one of the most important parts of learning figure work in realism. The anatomy is meant to be this like guideline for you. And when you know your anatomy well, you can pick out certain spots and use the context of the anatomy to enhance them. So for example, if I'm drawing out this leg, I just like draw a box for the pelvis here, similar position to the way it's positioned in here, right? So I know that that's my box in here, that's my pelvis, but I'm going to draw this leg out in here. Now that's just a shape. This thigh is just a shape, same as this. And I know that my calf comes out this way, and that leg bends. Now, I don't have to be completely articulate. I don't have to show every little muscle in here. But what I can do is understand that the sartorius comes this way. And if my light source is this way, so it's shining on top of the leg, I know that the brightest spot is going to be here. And because of the way this leg is formed, it's not just a cylinder, although that's the basic shape. I know that the sartorius wrapping around this way will create a bit of a shadow shape in here. And the adductor muscles will be a bit more in shadow. When the sartorius wraps up, it'll be a little bit more in light. So I can put this in shadow here. And I can even throw a little bit more light into here because that's where the sartorius protrudes and eventually goes under the light source. So knowing that this muscle wraps around in this way will give me the context I need to accurately place the shadow shape in here. I'm going to darken that up. Same thing with these quadricep muscles. Same thing with the patella and the tibia. If I wanted to, I could put this plane down to signify the drop of the quadricep in there. And then your quads are like this like teardrop muscle. So I could theoretically put another shadow shape in here to show the side plane of the vastus medialis in here. So I can create this big shadow shape based off what I know about the anatomy. And that can put your illustrations to like a whole new level and push them towards that. But this is only informed because I know the anatomy. We're going to finish drawing out. Remember, that's like the bottom or the very end of the hamstrings in there. You can follow the, oh, great. These coloring pencils. Oh my goodness. Can we work, please? Okay. So this flows this way. And the direction of these muscles will tell you a lot about the form. Now, I know that because the quadricep comes up and around this way, and the sartorius comes around this way, that this form isn't just like one big flat box. It comes around and then kind of protrudes there and then follows underneath. So there's this like little pattern, and that is the shape of that leg in there. That's what we call form. And knowing how to articulate that form is called form modeling. It comes typically later in your drawings, when your anatomy, your planes, your bigger shapes, your abstractions are solidified. When they're in the correct place and they're well informed, knowing how to form model with the context of the anatomy will help enhance them. It was a very quick live today. Very easy. Very easy. We've already gone over the outside view of the leg. We've gone over the front portion. This is the inside view of those thigh muscles. And yeah, so that's going to be it for today. Thank you to everybody who joined. If you stuck around, thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. Have a great day.